welcoming the first 15 minutes or 20 minutes or so of this time together is a way of uh, offering some reflections on arriving and settling, like a 15-minute short or long, depending on what it's like to be somewhere, to have arrived somewhere, and a way of relating to it which connects, settles, gathers. These words are to notice the effect of the understanding of these words and how that is in this particular here and now, this particular time and space, this particular experience, sense of welcoming, sense of non-rejection, sense of adequacy, sense of it's all right now, here, this time, this space, memories, like this, expectations, like this, stillness is like this, stillness of the body in this receiving of it all, this welcoming, this non-rejection, stillness of the body, sensitivity, receiving this given experience, connection, the sense of the body sitting, sense of the experience of here, now, this time, this space. The giving of attention is not a demanding or an expecting or a rejecting, it's knowing. We're knowing that this knowing is known. A full thought, stillness. Before thought, awareness, known, and the giving and the receiving is one. The giving of attention, receiving of experience, receiving of the given experience, released. In this moment, here and now, this time, this space. Experience received, released, given, the knowing known. Before words, or expectation, regret, knowing of the known as a light, light, the all and giving and receiving is one. Sense of here and now, this time, this space, known and this knowing, welcomed, released, and pushing or pulling, or going to or coming from. No holding on to, no discarding, just release, received in the knowing, known, all of the experience, the parts of the body that are strong sensation, parts of the body with no sensation, the clarity, the confusion, the powerful, the subtle, without rejection, without overwhelm, without grasping, particular, particular experience. And this, and the knowing, a practice, alive, sensitive, the all of this moment, in this experience here, the experience of the steadiness of this knowing, the refuge of this knowing, this knowing, this stillness. This now, this here, this time, this space, this collecting, gathering, Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang dhammang sanghang namasami. The aspiration or the direction is one of encouragement to be independent, one of encouragement to have confidence or energy or faith or capacity to know what's happening and what to do about it to lead a life that is truly worthy and truly beautiful. There are 10 objects for recollection. I think I've mentioned them. There are 10 a few times, and it's probably enough this evening if I just sort of run through them and offer them as things to areas of worthy or remembering, recollecting, dwelling on in terms of if you want to hold on to anything, to find a confidence as a raft to paddle using your hands and your feet, or a direction, or it's called reflections, or anusati, repeated reflection, repeated consideration. And the first three are these things that we go to refuge to: the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. Buddhang Dhammang Sanghang Namassami. Now there's Namo Tassa Bhagavato, there's homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. And then Buddhang Dhammang Sanghang Namassami, paying a sense of respect. Buddhang Saranang Gacchami is to go to refuge. Dhammang Saranang Gacchami is to go for refuge. Sanghang Saranang Gacchami is to go for refuge. So these three things are worth. And what do they actually mean? And how does one reflect on them? Well, as some of you know, there's Itipiso Bhagava is the traditional chant, and that has meaning, and the Pali has meaning, and certainly some of you know the meaning. And if you keep chanting it for long enough, you don't know the meaning, it's going to become a little bit boring. But as some people know, it's chanting for 108 times, or chanting all through. So it's a sense of, well, what is the Buddha? The Buddha is, and the virtues of the Buddha, the things that actually stand out, the qualities of the Lord Buddha, that upon which the whole thing relies, because that quality of wisdom is somehow above the ordinary, not stuck in the mud or stuck with the mundane. It's exalted and fully noble or worthwhile, that sense of knowing that which is noble or worthwhile. How does that feel as a refuge? A sense of what's the nobility in this moment? What's that is being received? What's worthwhile in this moment that's being received? What is the completely awake experience of this moment? So it's not shut off or in some way rejecting a sense of fully being with whatever is happening, and knowing that a sense of that, so that there's when the actions that follow are from a sense of wisdom. And the wisdom is a sense of reducing the stress of this moment, because it's with compassion in actions of body and speech in this moment. What reduces suffering? And how is this comes with the knowing and the continuing of this. The sense of not making a problem about it, so that all the experience of the knowing of the world is like this. The whole of the world is like this. This thing that I call me in the world is like this. And then the quality of giving the opportunity for beings to train, all beings to train themselves. Can't force, but you can offer the opportunity by recognizing the possibility of the transformative capacity of frustration, a sense of allowing the frustration to this moment, this sense of this is all there is, this is what I've got, this is what's been given, and this is what I can give to it, this much, this moment, now, here. Yeah? Where does it work? And what is the truth of this? What is it actually? How is the truth experienced? The Dhamma as a refuge that's what's revealed by wisdom. And it has to be here and now, this time, this space. This is what the Buddha awoke to. This time, this is where the occasion of awakening is. This time, this space, outside of this time and space, inherent in every moment, and yet outside of time and space. And that's not thought, because thought is always in time and space. So where does thought end? It's always open, as knowing of where thought ends. Where there is no thought, not the stopping of thought, it's the knowing of where there's no thought. Hey, no, thought's not always there. But in order for there to be thought there has to be that which is not thinking. Just as in order for there to be music, there needs to be silence. It's always open. And in the knowing of that, there's a sense of oh, and a sense of peace with that. Oh, and it's open to all, and that's where the truth lies. That is the truth. That is the Dhamma. But what about it? How does this manifest in this manifest? How does it appear in human society? Where is the beauty of that? Where is the sense of peace and ease in human society? And that's the qualities of those that are actually knowing that they are training following the Lord Buddha. Symbol for those is this lot. And just Sangha just means group, but Sangha as a refuge is, that's those that aren't caught up in worldly aims and values, getting and gaining. They're not caught up in the vicissitudes of the world. Praise and blame. Are willing and to experience the frustration of this, willing to sacrifice, make sacred this life. In the sense of this life is sacred. Trying to get my way out of it. Out of a sense of inadequacy or a sense of overwhelm. Not following that. A sense of what is the way to reduce suffering here and now. The first three reflections are on that. The Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha as a refuge. The next two reflections are personal reflections on one's own experience of a sense of appreciation of all the goodness that one's done in one's life. Oh, I haven't done anything. Oh, I don't know. Not the sense of actually acknowledging the goodness of one's life. It's okay to remember it. I've said before, there are people who keep little books which they record the goodness of their life. And it helps. As I said, the people who've given their kidneys, the people who've remembered that they've done something beautiful, and people who've supported, or remembering every day some act of kindness that you've done at the end of the day, some act of generosity, and some act of not following something that was harmful to yourself or others. This is sila nusati and chaga nusati, a sense of the willingness to relinquish, and the willingness to offer, a sense of trust to oneself and others, a sense of fearlessness to oneself and others. Sila is an act of generosity to oneself and others. And the part of that is that this is the behavior that is the support for that which is truly beautiful in the world, anyway. In a temporary way, this is where the devas are, why the devas are born, because of sila and generosity and dana, which I said I've talked about a bit last week. And the reason for this, the goal of all of this, sense of a happiness independent of conditions, which is the goal, nibbana, the sense of this is what This is where, the arrival in this here and now, or this time and space, or this place, this time that's outside of time and space, a strange experience of not making a problem of anything, not holding on to anything, an experience of a happiness independent of conditions, unconditioned happiness. Is that in this is the sense of relief or ease that we do experience, but often we overlook because it's not necessarily particularly exciting, because it's not agitating. No, this is something to consider. It is giving up, because it's not the excitement anymore. It's not the sense of just okay. But there is in that complete support and complete refuge also. Nibbana nusati, the end of suffering. What to do? Because anything goes or everything goes. Where does it all go? It all ends. Maranunusati, reflection on the ending of things. Everything that begins ends. This body ends. This is what it's. There's this sense of time and space that we experience in this particular experience here and now is incredibly uncertain. The time of death is incredibly uncertain. The place of death is incredibly uncertain. There's all sorts of stories that in your own life, and then there are all the myths and all the tales about it. But there are two types of people, the dead and the living. It's that, salute those who are about to die. We're all into this. This is what we're all up to. And this is what terrifies or frightens or excites or I want to overlook. But every single being that we meet will die. We are all brothers and sisters in this. There is no exception. Absolutely none. Everything goes. Like this closing down sale, everything must go. So it's all ending. And and the timing is completely uncertain. And so it's a whole thing, and it's worth it to, how often should one remember death? When the Lord Buddha praised those that remember death at every breath, because every breath, you can die on the in-breath or the out-breath. Your first breath was an in-breath. You can die on an in-breath, die on an out-breath. Eventually the breath will leave the body, but you may be dead before it happens, and the timing of the death is a whole business. What happens? What is death anyway? You can certainly notice the ends of anything, and that's a helpful thing, but the death of the body itself is something to actually consider. Because, the object that is part, what does die is this body. And this body is like this. It's a funny old business. How one thinks of this body, how one thinks of the body that one finds oneself with. It's like it's certainly an animal body, this human body, isn't it? Shares an incredible amount with the animals. They're even starting to figure out how to add animal parts to this human body. Inside, outside, roundabout. And then we do it anyway. We eat them. We eat other bodies. Incorporate bodies within this body. Transform bodies and bodies. A strange experience of things in contact with this body. When we have a nice clean glass of water, we put it in our mouth. If we spit it out into another glass, how many people are going to want to drink it? No. And through our life, what happens with this body? What do we do when it comes into contact with stuff? Wipe the grease stains off. Things come out of this body. What are they like? Things that drop off this body, what are they like? Things that we cut off this body, what are they like? When we cut the skin, what does it look like? When it gets damaged in some way, how's the experience of that? It's distorted in some way. When things get stuck on it, what does it look like? Dribble. With the ease. What is this body? It's like this. It's not supposed to be any different. It's not supposed to be any different. It's in some ways quite marvelous. It manages to do all of this. Good grief. Fit the sort of composting machine inside. What's strange? Energy extractor. When you're breathing in the room with some other people, breathing in and breathing out, sharing the breath in the room. Yeah, it's worth it. Because that's the last Anusati. Kaya Anusati is the 9th, and Anapanasati is the 10th. Of the Anusatis, the things to contemplate again and again, and notice how the heart is when it takes these subjects up for contemplation. Just holds them a bit, feels the weight, feels the exercise of actually staying with something, not distracted, not worried, not seeking something else, not thinking I need this or I need to get rid of that. I need to do this, I need to do that. It's just like this. Just as this is how it feels. The Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha, the generosity, the kindness, the whole way of the possibility of beauty, the behavior, possibility of a happiness independent of conditions. Because this condition that we find ourselves in will end. This body is like this, fragile, slightly weird, doesn't really belong to us, doesn't obey us, worth taking care of. And a breath is received and released. And I know that the experience of now and here is different. And the breath is known, and the knowing is known. And this is an experience, something to be practiced or played with or enjoyed or considered. See how we can do it. See how it is. So it's just for today, here and now, reflection or a reminder, things once heard before. Nothing new. It's all the same. Anything goes. Everything goes. The nature of things. Brothers and sisters, in old age, sickness and death. That's what we are. For this today. And if you have any further questions, please type them in and we'll see how we go. And if there are no questions, that's okay too. For the people in the Sangha room, there may be a chance for questions later. Okay. Is sila more important than merit? Punya. Is it different? Mm-hmm. There's merit in everything. Sila is just one aspect of merit. Is it more than dana, generosity? Yeah, I don't know. They're both important. in terms of, the act of sila is an act of generosity. They're all merit. Meditation is a merit. It's punya. Sitting down for an hour and just staying with the breath for an hour is an act of merit. You can dedicate the blessings of that for all beings. And if you're sitting down for an hour with the breath, and for that hour, your sila is pretty good. And you're general, you're giving something, and in giving something that can be trusted and not harming. That's a generous act. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. I usually say if you want to vote for a politician, vote for somebody who's wise, virtuous, and generous. And if you can't find somebody who's wise, virtuous, and generous, find somebody who's virtuous and generous. If you can't find somebody who's virtuous and generous, vote for somebody who's generous. Usually if you're wise, you're virtuous and generous. If you're just virtuous, you can be self-righteous. Usually if you're generous, you tend to work it a little bit more ease. So I don't know. But it's all merit, it's all punya. But if you can engage politically as an act of generosity, that's okay too. Can bodhisattvas be reborn in hell? How does spontaneous rebirth occur? Is it a state of mind? Whoa. Devas have the possibility of going to the hell realms. Any rebirth is possible. That's why they say that are fortunate. They don't necessarily, but they could do. And that's what the story goes. But I don't know. I really don't have direct knowledge of all of this. I'm talking about theory. And there are plenty of books that will say one thing and plenty of books that will say the other. And it's okay. And you can do the whole rebirth thing in terms of this moment, in terms of looking how from one moment to the next, there's a death and a rebirth, death and a rebirth. And one can go through the various realms of existence within a very short space of time. But time and space is something that's made up anyway, so it's all a bit iffy. It's how you use those concepts and what you feel about them. And whether bodhisattvas are actually positions that beings find themselves in, because something like Mara is a position like the prime minister or the president. It's a position. It's not necessarily a particular being. So Mahamoggallana was once Mara, and so the story goes. So it's maybe there are positions that people fill. I don't know whether they're voted in or whether their karma takes them there, but that's the way that it's sometimes described. So you can. How do you use that contemplation so that it brings less suffering for yourself now and in the future? Is a question you can ask yourself. It's not. There's not an absolute about it, because all one's ideas about it are just ideas. All one's opinions about it are just opinions. The knowing is the refuge. Yeah. So it's okay. It's a speculation. It's not wrong to have the speculation, and it's not wrong to play with ideas, but that's what they are. Um, for me, I feel probably bodhisattvas are positions that maybe beings fill. So somebody like the Dalai Lama is supposed to be a Avalokiteshvara, I don't know, something like that. I don't really know much about Tibetan Buddhism. And if that's it, then that's probably enough.